Hello, friends, and welcome. So, today I want to share with you 5 things I wish I knew before I pursued entrepreneurship. So, without any further ado, let's go right into it. So, number one, fake it till you make it. At some point as an entrepreneur, you will encounter moments of self doubt and imposter syndrome. Now, the best way to describe this is that there's a very thin line between faking it to make it and faking it because you're a fraudster. Sometimes you don't know how you make things happen. They just happen, because you technically don't have a choice. So if you're having a bad day and you don't feel like doing it, or you're not feeling motivated and that, you're gonna just find a way of faking it, pretending that everything is okay. And I mean, you find sometimes where people are coming to you and say, dude, you're doing such amazing work, you're doing so well, your business is amazing. Whereas in reality, you are seeing things, you're seeing things not the way people are seeing it. And that's where the fake it until you make it comes through. So, number two is the mental side of things, which builds from the first point. Now, one thing that you have to deal with as an entrepreneur, which I wish I knew, is how do you mentally make sense of things that don't necessarily make sense? For example, now, the rate in which you are growing and the rate in which you are making things happen as an entrepreneur will not necessarily be the same way as your friends who are employees. One, you are going to put in a lot of work, like, a lot of hard work, particularly in the beginning, sleepless nights, but the results might not necessarily be very much tangible in the beginning. The psychology of it is saying that, if you're putting so much work, this is how much results you should be getting. So you're working late hours, but yet you're not still paid for. The other thing is how media shows the whole entrepreneur lens, especially from entrepreneurs who have made it. If you think about, your Richard Branson, your Elon Musk, your Patrice Motsepe, you see this refined, perfect picture where they are making money and everything's looking like it's going well, but they don't tell you about how they started, how things was for them in the beginning, even how they might just actually, narrate their story. It might just say, what, they had it hard in the beginning, and when you look at it and you'll be like, but no, I don't think they really had it hard like we're having it now or how you are having it now. You might sometimes even look at other entrepreneurs and say they started the same year and this is how far they've been or where they are. But at some point, be patient, you will get there. So, number three is being broke. So, contrary to popular belief, entrepreneurs make a lot of money, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, you're going to find yourself a lot of times broke because you're trying to invest a lot of money into your business. Your resources, your time that you could be using to actually earn an income somewhere else, you're going to be investing that into your business. Even at some point where you're now starting to get money, you're going to find yourself still broke because a lot of your money is going to be reinvested back to growing your business. So that's another reality that you have to deal with. So I think the best way to also just maybe how you could deal with that part of it is that really build a proper understanding of your personal finances as well as the business finances. You should be able to evaluate as to whether the money that you're investing into your business is it yielding the results that you're hoping to get from it. At some point also as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to be able to draw the line and realize that maybe I've put in so much money in this and it's not working out the way I need to work. Number four is understanding that you will not always have control over situations. I mean, I think that's something that the sooner you know and the sooner you understand that, you will save yourself a lot of headache. Certain things you don't have control over. Some problems are not really worth trying to tackle them on. If there's a crash in the economy, sometimes the best decision that you might need to make for yourself is to rather step back, observe what's happening, and understand that in this point in time, I don't have control. Think about the time where we had COVID-19, you had no control of what's happening, and do not try to, save the situation. Just ensure that you've got controls and measures and, mitigation strategies in place for in case you find yourself in a place where things are not working out the way they need to work out. So that's tip number four. I wish I knew before I pursued entrepreneurship. So number five is cash is king. So cash flow is important. Understand that without money, you're not able to really do much. And sometimes you might have money, but it's stuck in in assets, such as like maybe you've got debtors who owe you, but at that point in time, it doesn't help if you need money urgently now, but you cannot access that money. And in a lot of times, you might find yourself actually dying as a business because you didn't have money to react to situations. You might find yourself losing out on great opportunities and investment opportunities. You might find yourself also not being able to continue operating because you don't have the necessary cash at that point in time for you to facilitate whatever you're doing. So it's very important to really understand that and make sure that you always have money. There is always a cash reserve policy in your company or your business to ensure that you are able to take on situations whenever they happen, and you have the necessary money and cash flow to be able to do that. And then last, I will leave you with this one, which is a bonus point, is that leverage your network. This is very important. You need to be able to build a network of people who have your back. Number one, you'll never know when you need someone for what, so ensure that you are really very much like investing in that network. And number two, learn how to leverage on that. And I'm not talking about using people. Lerato spoke about this in a video that I did with her.
So rub shoulders. Rub shoulders with those that have started, rub shoulders with those that are at places where you aspire to be. And it doesn't necessarily mean go rub shoulders with executive CEOs or etc. But there might be people within your community that have started to make those little changes that inspire you. And so start engaging with those people, because the saying, you're the average of the people that you're around. And it speaks to the importance of collaborative advantage. A person is a person with other people,
Yeah.
etc. That's really important.
So if you want to watch the whole video, you can actually check out the link there. But really, I love what she spoke about, leveraging on people, rub shoulders, rub shoulders with people, even though they might be slightly above you. Rub shoulders, because they might have something that you need for you to be able to take the next step. And if you're not taking advantage of that, you might find yourself stuck and not able to progress forward. And that is something that I wish I knew when I started my journey as an entrepreneur. So that brings me to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this video was insightful. And I want to say to you, if you found this useful and insightful, please give it a like and maybe share it with a friend. And I think there's really good nuggets that I personally really drew out of this as I was making this video and preparing for this video. And something else, maybe put in the comment section if there's something else that you think is also important to you wish you knew before you started your journey as an entrepreneur, or you wish entrepreneurs should know before they pursue this journey. Maybe leave it in the comment section below, and show us love, like, subscribe to this channel, and let's get this growing. I would love to actually see this grow, and I want to really invest a lot of time and a lot of things in making sure that I grow this channel, and I'm continuously bringing up new content on a weekly base. And yeah, let's get growing and let's continue doing this. See you in the next video.